Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in what an anti-hacker test is. Allow me to explain that real quick. An anti-hacker test is also known as a penetration test, or a pen test for short. It's a way for IT security professionals to do what hackers do, and that's locate attack vectors, social engineer their way in through your employees, exploit vulnerabilities, bypass authentication and security mechanisms, set up persistent backdoor connections, capture data, usernames, passwords, spread through your network and systems unnoticed, undetected, while clearing their tracks. Now I know this sounds scary, and it should. Data breaches are a very real thing, and cyber crimes are on the rise big time. You're in for a treat. I'm sure most of you know what it looks like when a bad guy robs a bank, steals a car, etc. I'm also sure you know how to deal with that type of problem. Call the police and let them deal with it. However, when dealing with cybercrime, it's a little different. I am sure most of you heard the terms hacker, cracker, black hat, virus, malware, worms, spyware, trojans, botnets. But what does that all mean? And what does it look like? And most importantly, what are you supposed to do about it? You just can't simply call the police with this type of crime. This is where we come in. We are able to locate security gaps, seal off vulnerabilities, monitor, alert, and report activities in your environment. To get started, we're going to show you how a cybercrime looks like. Now, I have set up a small network of virtual machines to show a quick example of how this works. Now, I have already placed a piece of malware on one of the systems that I have created and I can control. To save us time by skipping ahead, now there are numerous reasons or ways a hacker could get their malware onto one of your systems, and I'll cover pretty much all the ways in another video known as attack vectors. But in this video, we can assume the end user has either A, checked email with an attachment, B, downloaded it from the internet somewhere, C, plugged in a USB drive, or E, allowed a bring your own device situation where a employee had an infected, compromised system or phone that connected into their environment. Now at this point, I'm going to show you each of our systems that I'll be testing today. They include a Windows 7 professional 64-bit system. It's listed right here. I'm going to go ahead and log in so you can see it. I'm going to go ahead and show you the IP address. You can see it's on a 10.1.30.x range, and I'm going to just ping Google to show you that it is on the internet. And while that's running, I'm going to show you our next system, which is a Windows XP Professional system. I'm going to show you its IP address. Also in the 10.1.30x network, so both the 7 and Windows XP system is on the same network. And I'm going to also ping Google to this as well, so you can see this is also on the internet. The other system is a server. This is a Windows Server 2008 Enterprise R2 system, as you see by this. Also on the same network and segmentation as well, I'll show you its IP address. It's also on the 10.1.30.x network, and I will also ping Google on this to show you it too can reach the internet. Now the hacker system we'll be using is running Kali Linux, which is based off an older backtrack system which runs on top of Debian Linux. This is the common operating systems hackers use, and it has a ton of tools designed to bypass security and compromise your network. And to show you that it's actually on a completely different network, I'll show you its IP address. And you'll see here this is on a 10.1.20.x, whereas the other systems are on a 30.x network. This is on a 20. This can also ping Google, but it cannot ping one of these systems. To show you, for example, if I try to ping our Windows XP system from the 7, which is a 10.1.30.10, 10.1.30.100, you can see that it gets a reply, which is expected because this computer, this Windows 7 system, and this Windows XP system is on the same network. However, if we go ahead and try to ping from the Kali box that same system 10.1.30.100, you'll see that it's going to do a request timeout. It can't reach it. It's on a completely different network. So what I'm simulating here is the hacker computer is on a completely different network. It's on the completely different environment. So this would simulate basically and have allowed all of your systems in your business or your home, and the hacker would be on the outside that can't easily see you or reach in. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Alright, so again, I've already created the malware that I'm going to use. Basically, it is designed to do a remote command and control. The Kali Linux operating system that we're using, I'm using a piece of software known as Armitage. Armitage is a piece of software that uses Metasploit framework and Ruby, and this tool allows attackers to multitask and be extremely efficient at what they do. Now, in short, the malware that I created, what it does when it's executed, first off, you won't easily know it's been executed. It doesn't have a window or a pop or anything. It runs very silently. It phones home over a reverse HTTPS connection using what's known as SSL and AES encryption. This allows my software to go undetected by all antivirus softwares, including anti-spyware and anti-malware, intrusion prevention systems, which are firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and security information event monitoring systems, all of which cannot see or detect what activities my software is doing. It's very lightweight, so pretty much no one will even realize it's running on the system. And there's multiple ways, again, that it can get on the system, and there's multiple ways I can package it for it to be linked to either like Firefox, Internet Explorer, the calculator, Paint, Putty. The list goes on of how we can actually bundle this in without any indication at all to the end user. But again, to speed up time here, I just have the generic executable on the desktop on one of the systems. So everything again is going to be tunneled back to this remote system, this hacker system, and it's tunneled securely, so only I can see it. This is a very common way that hackers use to keep their activities hidden and successful. Even in the Fortune 500 companies who have spent millions of dollars on security and have full-time IT security operation analysts, engineers, and architects, they still can't stop a good hacker who really wants in and knows how to do it. So with that said, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and execute this payload just by simply double-clicking on it. And as you can see, it's loading on the XP system, just a little hourglass box, and again, nothing happens on the XP box. But you'll notice on the hacker system, stuff starts to happen and pop up instantly. Within Interpreter here, we instantly get a graphical interface that opens up what's called an interpreter shell. And it shows basically the public IP address that the system is behind, and it has a little green arrow dictating how our connection's coming in. So you can see the arrows coming from the firewall to the system. So that's basically showing us. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see what happens here as we go forward here. So at this point on the attacker system, the attacker is going to connect to the system. This is known as session 1, so we're going to type in session-I1. Excuse me, I missed the S. That's going to be sessions-1, and that connects us into the interpreter shell here. Now, once we've established this type of connection, there's all kinds of things that a hacker can do. And I can't easily go through all of the details here in one short video, but to kind of put it in perspective, what we can do now is, like, for example, if we want to do an IP config, and what this does is this basically generates the IP address of the system, so you can see that it basically shows us the IP address information on that system. We can capture the screen. We can take screenshots. We can set up a keylogger, which basically means as the end user starts typing, we can steal what they're typing. I'll show you all that here in a second. We can turn on their web camera and their microphone if it's a laptop and record what they're saying, what they're looking like. We can dump all of the password hashes so we can later crack them to be able to then see what usernames and passwords can be used in the other systems. So just a lot of things that we can do. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a get system. And what this is going to allow us to do is escalate from the user's account to the system account, which is higher than an administrator account. So now all of our activities are being ran as system. So we won't have to worry about the pesky antivirus or the firewall or something trying to stop us, or UAC when we get to Windows 7 and such. This runs everything as a system. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and demo for you real quick how a keylogger actually works, which is a pretty scary thought if you've never heard of what a keylogger is. What it does basically is it allows us to basically listen in to what's being typed on that box. So this is how hackers can easily steal messages, usernames, and passwords. So the command is keyscan start, and as you can see, the key sniffer has been started. So I'm going to go back here to the Windows XP box, and just to demo what that could possibly mean if, for example, let's say you're going to go check your email. So we'll go ahead and go to Gmail, so www.gmail.com. Now I'm not going to actually type in a working username and password. Obviously this video is on the internet, but I'm just going to demo what it would look like. And then we'll click sign in. Obviously it's going to fail, but we will see what was typed in a second. Now let's go to Bank of America. 123.Bank of America. So you've checked your email. Now you're going to go ahead and check your account. Let's assume the account CR, and you will pick your location. Now, because we're not physically typing in the state here, that's an extra layer of security which Bank of America has implemented. However, if the hacker did his due diligence, he's going to realize exactly what state you're in anyways, so that doesn't really matter. And then here's a security question. So again, let's assume it's computers. Obviously it's wrong. I'm not going to answer that question for you guys, but that's just to show you again. Let's also go to PayPal, for example. And again, let's log in, admin, and let's just assume the password again is just a generic password, and just to show you guys how it looks. Alright, so with that said, we'll go ahead and come back to the hacker system here, and we're going to do what's called a key scan dump. And as you can see, that basically it basically comes back and shows you every key that was pressed. So you can see that we went to Gmail, press enter, then the next thing typed in was admin and newler.com, and then we tabbed over to the next field and we typed in a password. Then we went to Bank of America, return, and we then typed in a username and a password. So that's just a quick example of how a keylogger could work. There's other software out there that can be used as well. We're going to go ahead and stop this right now. So tune in for our next video where we're going to show some more in-depth tacking. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.